I'm USA Today bestselling author Hildie McQueen, and I write medieval Highlander romance. And today we are planning the 28th of August through the 3rd of September, which will be the second week that I was in Scotland. This was an amazing week. I went to the area where my next series will be taking place. My daughter's wedding took place this week. And we just had a really fun adventure, or 2 or 3 or 20. I don't know. It was just not a memorable week. Right now I am, well, how many weeks am I behind now? I am not that bad. I guess I'm perpetually going to be 2 weeks behind. Today is the 18th of September, and this one just ends on the 3rd. I am on my way tomorrow to NINC, which is Novelist Inc., which is a writers conference that takes place every year in St. Petersburg, Florida. So my friend and author JD Monroe and I will be leaving early in the morning for I think it's about an 8-hour drive, because we will be stopping to have lunch and things like that. So maybe even dinner. Well, I don't know. We should be there by dinner time. So yeah, right now I'm just doing this voiceover, and then I think I might have time. I don't want to start any new projects like writing or anything, so I might actually do the scripts for the week after this one, which will be my first week back, and most of the week I was sick. As hopefully you can tell, I am feeling a lot better. My voice is coming back. I just have this cough that comes every once in a while, so hopefully I can keep it at bay while I am recording this voiceover. And that is why I'm doing a voiceover. I was going to talk through this planning and I kept coughing, so I just gave up and said, well, let's just wait, have water on hand, and do a voiceover. That way I can stop and cough and then keep recording. So let's get to the day by day, because I don't think I have anything else to report other than I do have a new release. I think by the time this comes up, my new release will already have released. It's called A Rogue to Forget, and the link for my release and my Rogues of the Lowlands series will be below, and also the link to my Amazon library if you guys are so inclined to see what all I write. Okay, let's go to the day by day. Okay, I forgot to say that when I first started recording this, when I first started laying down the base, I forgot to hit the record button, which is why you didn't see me do the whole thing, which I'm sure is fine. And I was just thinking, I really do not need to record that part, because I don't know, it seems kind of boring to me, but I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. So we were, on Monday was the day that we headed to Plockton. Yes, so we were still woke up in Edinburgh this day. It was our last day in the city, and honestly, we were all just anxious to get to the Highlands. And hubby and I have been talking about our next trip to Scotland, and I actually talked about it with one of the ladies that went to Scotland, and we were just discussing that everybody agrees that next time I think we would just fly into Inverness. It's worth a little bit more cost, because it does for some reason cost a little bit more to fly into Inverness. And I think I mentioned that in my last video. Am I repeating myself? Probably. But yeah, I've seen enough of Edinburgh. I like it, but I really want to explore more of the Highlands. So yeah, this morning we woke up at the Edinburgh House Hotel, and because there was no breakfast in the place, we had to go find breakfast. So we decided that 3 of us would get up early. We took the orders the night before, so 3 of us would get up early and go to the local takeaway, which was about 2 blocks away. We would go to the local takeaway and pick up the orders of what everybody wanted and bring it back, and that way we can all have breakfast in the back patio, and then leave for the train station. So that is what we did. So my husband, my friend Cindy, and I got the order from everybody, and then we made our way over to the, what was it called? Bunnington. And I was kind of bummed that I couldn't eat there. That we were gonna try and eat dinner there the day before, but they closed early because it was Sunday, because they had shepherd's pie or pot roast Sunday or something like that. But next to it was a place that all they did was breakfast. But it's only takeaway. It's like this tiny little place. But man, they fix stuff fast in there. There used to people coming in and phoning in orders or placing an order and picking it up. I was just surprised how efficient they were, and they were really nice too. So then we took all our 50,000 pieces of luggage and we called, I'm trying to remember, I don't want to get this wrong. And then we went to the train station. Yeah, we ended up with two taxis to take us to the train station. So when we got to the train station, it was such a debacle because the announcement told us to go to one track, but while we're waiting there for the train, the announcement for our train wouldn't pop up. So somebody went and asked, and we found out that at the last minute it had gotten changed to track 1, which was downstairs and to this side area where tracks were. So we had to all hustle down there, and y'all, we had so much luggage. So we made it. Oh man, and the people, the conductors, whatever they're called, they were trying to get everybody on the train, but the cars weren't marked the same way as what we expected. Everybody was like stressing out. People were like bunched in cars that they didn't need to be in, and then they couldn't get to their cars because they were not, you know how you can usually go from car to car? You can only go like 2 cars and then it stopped. So they had to wait till the next stop, get out of the car, and then go to the right car. And so we all finally managed to get in the right car, but my husband got stuck in this other car. So somehow he made it to our car. I think it was after a stop or something. Sorry. So then we get to Inverness and we get a taxi to pick up our rental car, and we get in this van that my husband, we had ordered a, what do you call it? An automatic. Well, they ended up giving us a bigger one when they saw us because we had so much luggage. So we're like, yeah, cool, we'll take it. We didn't even think about it. So my husband ended up driving. You know, you sit on the right side of the car. You drive. No, yes, he was sitting on the right side of the car. He was driving on the left side of the road, and he was having to shift with his left hand. That drive up to Plockton, or across from Inverness to Plockton, was like a death ride from hell. We were on 1-lane roads, having to move over to let cars go by, and there were some treacherous areas. There was a tunnel, there was a bridge, and oh my goodness, he was such a hero for doing that. But anyway, that's why I put death ride in the rental van. So then we got to Plockton, and we checked into our hotel, which is called the Haven, and then my friends, they all stayed at the Mackenzies. And I got a text from Jane Mackenzie saying that they were having a cookout and for us to come up there. So their backyard is like a steep hill, and so then we get there, we have to climb up the steep hill, and that was crazy, and hung out with them for a while. They were having a cookout, and by the time we left, I mean, we were there, some people had already left because I guess they started earlier, and so hubby and I ended up staying probably to one of the last people, and they had hamburgers and sausages and steak, so it was really good, and it was nice to see everybody. Of course, we were just so excited to see them, and from up there, the view of the loch and stuff like that was really impressive. So, you know, took some pictures, talked to people, got to meet. Actually, I was so excited because our friend Columns, his brother, lives in the place where Hamish Macbeth was filmed. He lives where it used to be the police station in the show. So we actually ended up going by there later. So then the next day, I don't know if we all went to the pub that night or something. I think we did. We ended up having a drink. the next day we just decided to spend the day in the village hanging out. Did a lot of walking, some shopping, and there's a bunch of little shops. They have a yarn consignment shop where people make things and sell. They have a artsy like studio. They have a ice cream shop that also sells coffees and souvenirs. And then they have another shop. I forgot what the other one is. Jane has a shop that has souvenirs too. And there's a whiskey distillery. So we ended up walking around the village and shopping that day. We had fish and chips for lunch, which was so yummy because they have a chippy there in the village. And then hubby and I don't know if he did, I ended up taking an afternoon nap. And my friend says they went for a long walk up to the top side of the village. And then after that, we all had dinner at the Plockton Inn, and I ended up only having soup because I wasn't really that hungry, and it was really good. And I think that's all that we did that day. It was quite a nice day. My husband was so funny because after we got up and had breakfast at the Haven, they had like a full Scottish. Then we went over to the Mackenzies to see what our friends were doing, and then he would have coffee again with Jane. She would make him a cup of coffee. So he really enjoyed visiting with them. Colin was usually gone by then because he had early boat tours that he was doing, so he wasn't usually at the house. Sometimes he'd pop in and say hi and then he'd leave, but usually it was just Jane. So Wednesday we were gonna have a full day, and boy, it was so packed. So we got up in the morning and had the full Scottish breakfast there at the Haven, and that spread was so amazing. They had 2 kinds of eggs, they had sausages and ham and haggis, and mushrooms and beans and toast, different kinds of breads, like 3 or 4 kinds of breads. They had muffins, they had crepes, they had fruits and yogurt, and I think different kinds of juices. I mean, it was amazing. And we didn't even want to have lunch because we would like stuff ourselves at breakfast because it was so good. And I love beans and toast. I'm just a beans and toast girl, so every morning I was having beans and toast and mushrooms. And what did I eat for meat? I think sometimes I would have the ham, but usually I didn't have meat. I just have eggs, had poached eggs and scrambled eggs. It was just so good, so good. And then I had yogurt and fruit to top it off, and then I didn't want to eat for the rest of the day because I would eat so much at breakfast. But honestly, I thought that was cool. If I had more energy during the day and all that stuff, I would make that for breakfast at home every day. Okay, so then after that, we all had to be at the castle by 11 that morning because my daughter and son-in-law were going to meet with the wedding planner, and plus everybody else wanted to do the tour of the castle. So we went and met. Did we meet him there? No, I think my daughter and son-in-law came to the village, and then we all went together because their friends were staying in the village, and my daughter and her husband, they were staying nearby, but not at the village. So they came that morning, got their friends, and then we all kind of caravanned, us in the death van, them in their little Audi, and went to the castle. That was so nice. Shopped in the little gift shop, of course, and then we did the tour of the castle, which took us about, after we talked with the wedding planner, I think the tour took us about 2 hours, maybe. Yeah, I think we left there around 2. And it was so much fun. The castle is a recommendation. If you go to Scotland, you have to go to that castle. It is just breathtakingly beautiful. And I can't even tell you guys what it's like to have a wedding there. So I had already planned to go to the Isle of Skye this day. And I know everybody was kind of tired. So I said, we can drive out there to where my destination of my next series is. You guys and just kind of hang out, and I'll just walk up there with hubby to take pictures and record. Well, everybody was like, oh no, we want to do it. So we had to trudge through mud with sheep looking at us like we were crazy, climb up this hill. Oh my god, my shoes fell apart. I had these boots that were too old. And got there, and it was amazing. To visit a ruin of a castle that you're going to bring to life is hard to describe. I got a little teary-eyed. I kind of sat there for a long time just taking it all in, breathing the sea air. And the castle is called Dunscraig, and it is on the Isle of Skye. When you first drive into Skye, instead of going north, you just keep heading east and you come to it. I don't know if they got signs, but you can look it up. So anyway, that was amazing. And then after that, we came back to the village because we were all going to go on a boat ride, and we kind of almost had to hurry to the loading docks. Is that what it's called? The dock. We got on the boat, and Colin Mackenzie, Jane's husband, took us on a boat ride, and that was about 2 hours of reminiscing. We sung happy birthday to one of our friends. It was just, again, we could see it was starting, the sun was starting to fall, so it was like sunset on the loch, on a boat with your friends in Scotland, in full view of a castle. I mean, that is things that, something dreams are made of. So that's how we ended the night. Oh, no. We ended up going to the Plockton, to the pub, and had dinner. Amazing dinner. So on Thursday we got up. It was wedding day. Hubby and I had a full Scottish again, ate too much. And then we were going to kind of spend the day at the village waiting for it to be evening for the wedding. So we had ice cream that day at the ice cream shop. It was very delicious. I don't remember what flavor I had because they had some different flavors. And I tried one that was like based on a biscuit, a jam-filled biscuit. You know those jam-filled biscuits that have like a little heart cut out of them? So whatever that's called, that's the ice cream I had. And I guess I had those biscuits, which we call cookies, crumbled in it. It was so good. It was really, really good. And hubby had I think it was like a coffee flavored one. It was really good as well. And so after that, what happened after that? I'm looking at my planner here. Oh, that's right. We all went to go have lunch at the Plockton Inn. Excuse me. I don't remember what I had that day, but it was good. And then we wanted to do last minute shopping because we knew we were going to be leaving the next day. So ran back to some of the places that we hadn't been to or had already been to, seen some things, and decided to go back and pick them up because, we want to support the local economy of the small village. So then after that, it was bride time. My daughter arrived and was at the Plockton Hotel, and so I went over there, and her friends were going to do all the stuff about helping her get ready and all that, and I had helped her get ready when she did her civil ceremony. So for this one, I just hung out for a little bit and helped her. And she was kind of doing her makeup and stuff. She was running a little late. But we had to get the groom to the castle. So I'm like, okay, you're running late. I am going to go ahead and take him to the castle. She's like, okay. So we just took a few pictures. And then I said, get your dress on, please. Get ready. She's like, okay. She's kind of like, oh, my daughter. She's so calm. So anyway, she looked beautiful, so I'm glad she took her time. So anyway, her friends were like, well, get her there on time. I'm like, okay, I gotta go because we got the groom with us, and the castle wanted us there by 5:30. And at this point, it's like 5, and the castle's like 25-30 minutes away. So I'm like, hurry, hurry, hurry. So yeah, she arrived a little late. So we headed over to the castle with the groom and took some pictures, met with the wedding coordinator and the photographer there. The photographer was at the village, so she did take pictures while I was there with my daughter. And then the photographer met us at the castle, so she left. My daughter was still getting ready. And then the wedding was so magical. I can't even explain it. I'll have some pictures at the very end if you guys, are so inclined to look at them. Oh my gosh, if your daughter wants a castle wedding, please do this. It is so worth it. After the wedding, we went to have dinner there in the village of Dorney, which is near the castle. And the food there was amazing, and they were able to have us all there. My daughter had made reservations the night before, and we all went there after the wedding and hung out for maybe 2 hours, just enjoying each other's company and everything like that. Now, my daughter and her husband were going to stay in Scotland for another week, I think, 5 days, 4 or 5 days. So we were leaving the next day to head back to Edinburgh because we were flying out on Saturday. So the night before, we said our goodbyes because my daughter and her husband were going to go back to their rental place, and we were not going to see them. And her friends, they were also leaving early on Friday and flying back. They had already been in Scotland for about 4 or 5 days prior to the wedding. So it was nice to see everybody and hang out. So Friday morning, hubby and I got up and ate our full Scottish breakfast. Highlight up every day, I have to say. And we then packed because we had to be out of our room at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we packed and took our suitcases to the rental van and then went to the Mackenzies. But I think at this point my friends were already like packing and doing whatever. So we sat, there's like a wall outside that you kind of looks out to the loch. So we sat out there, and then Jane brought Kurt's coffee. She's so sweet. And we just sat out there and talked with her and hung out waiting for everybody to finish packing, taking their time, whatever. Well, then she told us there was a craft fair going on up the street. So we all, those of us that had already put our suitcases away, went to the craft fair and walked around. And I think I bought a necklace, and I bought some soap, I think. Oh yeah, and then we bought our friend whose birthday it was that day. We bought her a necklace. I think my friends bought some other few things. One of my friends bought some socks. They had some cute stuff there. My husband bought some jams, and that was delicious because I've been having that since I've been home with my yogurt and my fruit. Okay, so that's what we did. We went to the craft fair, and then we finally corralled everybody, and we drove the rental car to Inverness, and then from Inverness, we hired the guy that took us to the rental car to begin with to take us all the way to Edinburgh. And it was like £400, but it was a little more than taking the train, but we didn't have to change, pack up on the train, do all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if it was worth it. It was about the same. But yeah, he got us down to Edinburgh, and then we found a place to have dinner, which was called the Torfin. It was really, really good. No idea how we found it or where it's at, but it was somewhere in downtown Edinburgh. So the next morning, sad day, we decided that we were just going to head over to the airport early. Our flight was like at 12 noon. So, you have to be there like 2 hours early. So we had coffee, and we all had like dessert. We had went to a convenience store the night before to buy like bread or something to eat in the morning with our coffee. So we were good. But so when we got to the airport and got checked in and got rid of our suitcases and everything, we went to the Nero Cafe, and we all had like a salads and stuff like that for an early lunch. I went to the Starbucks and bought a Scotland cup, like a water cup, because I already have Scotland cups, but I wanted a water cup, or a water tumbler, I should say. And then we boarded our plane, sadly left Scotland, and flew to Atlanta around noonish, and got to Atlanta around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the same day. And that is really wackadoodle. When you're on an airplane that long and you get there and it's only like 2 hours later than when you left the other country. So we got to Atlanta, said our goodbyes to the friends. Like 2 of them were flying directly to our hometown, We're all from the same hometown, except for one girl that moved away, and she was taking the chauffeur thing shuttle to her hometown, and then the rest of us got our car and we're driving home, and we stopped at McDonald's. I don't even know why we stopped at McDonald's. We never go to McDonald's, but we did. I guess because it was quick and easy. So we stopped at McDonald's to get late lunch. I don't know. We got fed on the plane. I don't even know why we were hungry. So then on Sunday, woke up in the US of A, and I did not want to do anything because I really wasn't jet lagged, but I think it was like the forbearing of the fact that I was about to be really sick with a head cold. So I didn't want to go to church that day. We just kind of hung out at home and did the usual stuff that you do after a long trip, like unpacking and doing laundry and spending time with our little dogs, who were super happy to see us. They're so funny. They were very clingy, so that's to be expected, I guess. Speaking of the devil, there she goes barking. And yeah, so I think I was calling, called my one daughter, the one that didn't go on the trip, to see how things were with her, and just kind of, I was like not in the mood to do anything, honestly, that day. I don't even remember if I moved much further than the couch. My husband did most of the unpacking. I did a little bit of unpacking, and then I said, I'm just gonna finish unpacking. I took all the dirty clothes out, and then the clean clothes, I left it in the little cube because I pack in cubes. And I said I'll get that later, and I think I just unpacked that like last week because, like I said, I was about to get really sick. And then I went through all my mail because I had, happy mail. My stepdaughter had stayed in our house, and she did an amazing thing. She cleaned our house. When we got back, the house was so spotless. Then that was so cool. So I didn't feel like I had to do anything. And I think, first day back, the day after we got back, we ordered Chinese from, there's one like right up the street, because we like didn't feel like cooking. And I uploaded a whole bunch of pictures of the trip, and then we watched Hamish Macbeth all over again because I wanted to see Plockton. Alright, so for the sidebar, what am I putting on there? I put two things mainly, and I guess the two things are that, what did I put on there? Let me turn my planner. I put that, Scotland is just so beautiful and breathtaking. I mean, I could so easily live there. So I put on there the beauty of Scotland on the full box because I had 3 things to put down, and I wanted to put them all there. So I have this little emoji from Coffee Monsters Go, and I put beauty of Scotland. I forgot to tell you guys where all the stickers are from. I'm sorry. If you need to know, just ask me. And then I put down best friends ever because my group of friends and I, we just got along so well. Everybody got along super well. And then, of course, I had to include the fact that we attended and were part of a beautiful wedding. And then, so let's open up the spread and let's look at it. I think it turned out really pretty. The flowers are reminiscent of Scotland. And then I'm going to show you guys some pictures after this. The first one is a picture of my daughter outside the castle. And I think she looks so beautiful. And then the second picture, there's my daughter. The second picture is of her and her husband in front of the castle. And then the third one is of yours truly. I got the photographer to take my picture. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.